Even though the government shutdown is over, officials say it's going to take time for federal services to return, like SNAP benefits used by millions of Americans. So, even though hope is on the horizon, there are still countless people across the country who need a little extra help getting food into their cabinets. But it isn't just food that people have to worry about when times are tough. It's rent payments, gas, and basic but crucial hygiene items. Joining us today is Lauren Chikara, who works with Justice Necessary. This is a nonprofit that's making sure people actually get those hygiene items. Thank you so much for joining us to talk about the importance of this, Lauren.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm wondering if you could talk about why your organization is making the push to include hygiene items at food banks. Are these things often overlooked when it comes to donations?
Yeah, you can't address food insecurity without addressing hygiene poverty. And so we are partnering with the Food Bank of the Rockies to ensure that neighbors who are accessing services through pantries across the Food Bank of the Rockies network also have access to essential hygiene products. You can't address one without the other. So we are really excited to be in partnership with Food Bank of the Rockies to ensure that Coloradans who are experiencing food insecurity are able to have access to both food and hygiene essentials.
Absolutely. When it comes to hygiene, what are some of the items you've seen people need more of? Is it toothpaste? Is it like menstrual products? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, it's actually all hygiene products. We know that when folks are on SNAP or WIC, they aren't able to purchase hygiene products using SNAP or WIC. So our ability to provide hygiene essentials like period products so students don't miss school, toothpaste, other oral care, deodorant, diapers are really essential. So it's every single hygiene product is really an essential product for everybody to really access and live their daily lives with dignity and confidence.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for highlighting that because I think that a lot of people don't know that folks can't get these items through SNAP or WIC. Do you find that people often don't donate these things when it comes to like food pantries and banks? Like, is this kind of why you're encouraging folks to do more of that?
Yes, I think most folks traditionally will donate to food pantries, shelf-stable food to really help address food insecurity. And folks forget about hygiene essentials. So when Justice Necessary was founded, we really knew that there was a gap because a lot of food pantries aren't able to use grant money or federal or state dollars to purchase anything but food. And so we're trying to eliminate that gap by providing this opportunity through our hygiene kits so that food pantries have access to both food and hygiene essentials for their neighbors.
This is very, very important work. So thank you for doing that. Tell us about the impact that these donations can have on an individual or a family and how people can join in to help and add to that impact.
Yeah, so remember back to when you were a student, if students don't have access to period products, they might not be able to attend school on a regular basis. That affects their academic success, or that affects their opportunities to actually engage in extracurricular activities. Say somebody is job searching and wanting to go, to an interview, they need hygiene products to be able to show up at an interview or show up at work with confidence and dignity. And then when folks are sending children to daycare, you need to have access to diapers and wipes to be able to send your child to daycare. So, what we are doing is really by providing these essential products through our partnership with Food Bank of the Rockies, families are able to provide for their families, do their laundry, ensure that they have oral care, and then be able to really navigate their day-to-day lives with dignity. So we work really closely with these food pantries to provide these essential products so that no Coloradan has to really decide between food or hygiene, and that they can live their daily lives in confidence.
That's wonderful. Can people volunteer to if they want to help? How can people find you all?
Yes, so right now it's Colorado Gives Day, and so you can certainly find Justice Necessary through the Colorado Gives website. And then we have a number of volunteer opportunities where folks, actually behind me, you can see folks are actually in our warehouse packing hygiene kits, because our goal is to send out hygiene kits to all of the food pantries in the Food Bank of the Rockies network starting in 2026. So it's a combination. We will always take, obviously, funding, your time, and your effort to really support providing hygiene essentials to Coloradans.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us, Lauren, and for the work you do. It's really, really important.
Thank you very much for your time, because access to basic hygiene essentials just is necessary.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to walk over to the kitchen now to talk specifically about which food items you should and should not donate. So when it comes to things that you can eat, the best thing to donate, unsurprisingly, are items that are shelf-stable and non-perishable. That includes things like canned legumes, fruits and vegetables, soups, canned meats like tuna and chicken, and things like pasta, dried beans, and rice. Now, you should avoid donating things you just want to get rid of, like stuff you've already opened and damaged or expired goods. This all feels very intuitive, but you might not have thought about this one. Avoid donating items packed in glass containers. Things like pickles, pasta sauce, jellies, and some condiments won't be accepted by places like Food Bank of the Rockies, so just be aware of that if you're planning to donate. Now finally, not all food banks will accept homegrown produce, but if you happen to grow some extra stuff, you can search online or use nonprofits like Fresh Food Connect, which can highlight all the spots that will take fresh produce. Just put in your zip code in the Fresh Food Connect app or website, and it'll show you where to go. If you want to help make sure our Colorado community is fed, our 9 Cares Colorado Shares Drive is going on right now. So we are teaming up with food banks around the state, and every dollar counts to help feed those in need. You can scan this QR code to get to our donations page, and you can also donate when you're checking out at King Soopers. Additionally, we'll be hosting a telethon to collect donations next Thursday, November 20th. If you want to see more Culture Report or any of our 9 News content, you can find us on the 9 News Plus app or 9news.com.